Yesterday for our quiz, the review on law of sines and law of cosines. Okay, notice at the top, because it'll say this on your quiz as well. Use the law of cosines to solve problems 1 and 2. Use the law of cosines. It's telling you what to use. So, for number 1, we're looking for little a, so that means we use a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. These formulas are on the board, okay? So I plug in the numbers. A squared equals 31 squared plus 23 squared minus 2 times 31 times 23 cosine 107. Everything that I have. I put it all in my calculator, this side of the equal sign, all of that, and I get 1,906.92 approximately. I square root both sides. I get 43.6683, so I round to 43.7. Any questions on this first one? Yes?
If we didn't do 0.92, like I only did 0.9, would we be covered wrong?
No. Okay.
If we don't round it, is it going to kill us?
No. It says right in the directions, though, what to round to. Okay? So please do that. Please don't talk while I'm speaking. If you have a question, I would love to answer it. But otherwise, shh. Number 2. Number 2, you can do it more than one way. If you look on the board behind Daryl or behind Andrea, I have, if you want to figure out an angle and you don't like the way I'm doing it, you can put it in those formulas. Okay? I like doing it this way. C squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. I chose that one because I'm looking for angle C. I plug everything in. I have little c is 15 squared. A is 13, and b is 25. So 15 squared equals 13 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 13 times 25 cosine C. Okay? I do it in parts. 15 squared gives me 225. 13 squared plus 25 squared gives me 794. And 2 times 13 times 25 gives me 650. I subtract 794 from both sides. I divide by 650. I find the inverse cosine, and I get 28.9 degrees. Okay. Do you see that we did it in parts right here? Let me show you the other way. All right, I'm looking for C, so I can use this. Cosine -1 C squared minus a squared minus b squared all over -2 ab. Okay? So I can put cosine of -1, put it all in at once. C is 15 squared minus 13 squared minus 25 squared all over -2 times 13 times 25, and you will get 28.9 degrees. Okay? You can totally do it that way. I have not spent a lot of time on this way, so unless you're used to it, I don't recommend doing it on the quiz, but you can. All right? I'm going to go back over this again. Just remember that cosine C is like an x. All right? So you have to do everything in parts, then you subtract, divide, and inverse. Subtract, divide, inverse. And the steps are right up on the board. Okay? You label, figure out that we wanted to use c squared, plug it in, then we solve each part. Okay? Then we subtract, divide, and inverse. Yes, Ashley?
After we did the negative 569 divided by the negative 650,
Yeah.
I got negative 0.0013.
That's because you made one of them positive and one of them negative. So if you take out your calculator right now, hit -569 divided by -650. Better? Okay. That happened a lot with this one with people I helped out. Okay, I am going to move on.
Wait, what's the final answer for that?
28.9. I'm going to move on to law of sines. Okay. It says for number 2 and 4, for 3 and 4, excuse me, to use law of sines right at the top. Okay, I have to find little c, so I'm going to have to use sine of c over little c, and I have a. So I'm going to go sine of a over little a equals sine of c over little c. I'm going to plug them in. Sine of 55 over 47 equals sine of 67 over c. I'm going to cross multiply, and then I'm going to divide, making sure I put the top in parentheses, and I get 52.8. 52.8. Any questions about this one before we move on? Yes?
I'm not really shaking on that one, so explain it.
One more time. Okay.
I got the first, the top one.
Okay. I knew that I have A because they're across from each other, right? So I have sine of 55 over 47 equals sine of 67 over C. We're good so far? Okay. C times sine of 55 is C55. 47 times sine of 67 is 47 sine of 67. Then I divide it by sine of 55. I make sure I put the top part in parentheses in my calculator. So I put parentheses 47 sine 67 and parentheses divide by sine of 55, making sure that division sign is outside the parentheses. And I get 52.8153, and I just round 52.8.
Is it important to put parentheses?
Yep, the top. Number 4, we're looking for angle B. So I've got sine of B over little b equals sine of C over little c, because I have C and little c. If I didn't have something, but I had the 2 other angles, how would I find the other angle for a triangle? You'd subtract from 180. Okay. So sine of b over 18 equals sine of 42 over 21. Cross multiply, 21 sine b equals 18 sine 42. Divide by 21. And I get sine b equals 18 sine 42 over 21, and I take the inverse sine, giving me 35 degrees, because I round to the nearest degree. Questions about number 4? Just the only difference about this is at the end you have to take the inverse sine. It's the only difference from 3. Okay, let's look at, yeah.
So inverse sine is from the degree of the
Yes. Okay, moving to the back then. Number 5. Number 5 says we have to choose which one to use. Well, this is one of those ones where I don't have all 3 angles, but I might need them. I'm looking for little a. I have angle A across from it. I have angle B, but I don't have little b. I don't have angle C, but I have little c. Well, if I have 2 out of 3 angles, I can find the 3rd angle. That's always a good first step to do. Now I can do sine of 23 over little a equals sine of 108 over 87. Cross multiply, a sine 108 equals 87 sine 23. Divide by sine 108, and I end up with 35.7. Side A is 35.7. Questions about this one? First, I subtracted from 180 and got that this angle right here is 108. We're there, good there. Then I set it up. Sine of A over little a equals sine of C over little c. Sine of 23 over a equals sine of 108 over 87. Cross multiply, a sine 108 equals 87 sine 23. Divide by sine of 108, and I get 35. Yes, ma'am.
The 103 degree, wait,
It's
108, it looks like a 3.
Any other issues? No more questions. Okay.